Hey, a couple of days ago, I told you about technology that is now available to police departments. And we've all heard the stories about high speed chases that have gone horribly wrong, where innocent people have been T-boned, have been hit head on by a fleeing suspect. And we all know how dangerous those high speed chases can be for innocent people sharing the roads, for the cops. And I can't believe that we're just hearing about technology like this right now. We heard about it because it's something that the Moses Lake Police Department is looking into in our state, and their police chief is Kevin Fuhr, who joins us here on Cairo Radio. Chief, good talking with you. Appreciate you coming on with me this afternoon.
Well, thank you for having me.
Describe for my audience that wasn't listening a couple days ago, describe this technology that you guys are going to put into place here.
So this technology is basically a system that is installed in the front of a patrol car that would allow an officer to basically deploy a projectile or shoot a projectile from the front of the patrol car to a fleeing vehicle, and so for us, what it will do is we're setting up a patrol car that will have an automatic license plate recognition system on it. So it will be reading the license plates.
Okay.
As a license plate is read through the system and it comes back as a stolen vehicle, the officer at that point will then pull in behind this stolen vehicle and will tag it with this GPS projectile.
Okay, and it was described as a cannon that fires a GPS projectile. Is that correct?
Yes, and I heard that this morning, and what I would say is it's just a small projectile, a little bit bigger than like a shotgun shell.
Okay.
And it shoots out of just a short little cylinder. So it's not a cannon as you would envision, a big big cannon like you would think. It's a small projectile, a little bit bigger than a shotgun shell that is shot.
And what's the range on it? How close does the police car have to be to the suspect car?
That I'm going to keep to myself. Just because I don't want to put too much information out there for any criminals that might be listening to that.
Okay.
But we'll get within that approved range to deploy this technology.
And it's just some super sticky GPS tracking device then?
That's what it is. Yeah, it's a GPS system that has a really strong adhesive on it, and that adhesive sticks to the vehicle that we're pursuing, or hopefully before we start a pursuit, we can get it deployed and stuck on the back of the car, and then at that point we can follow the car with the GPS mapping program.
Can the suspect car, knowing that you're not going to do the high-speed chase, can they just take off, get 2 minutes ahead, and then run to the back of the car and peel off this GPS tracker and jump back in?
My hope is that once that car is tagged and that we're following it on GPS, that dispatch is deploying all of the officers or the agencies that are responding to that incident are deploying them where the vehicle is headed. And so if the suspect decided, hey, I'm going to try to stop real quick and pull this thing off and then get back in the car and take off, I'm hoping that within that minute or so that it would take for them to do that we would be there on scene.
Okay.
So
this is so cool to me. I don't know any other way. It's so simple, too. I can't believe that we're just hearing about something like this in 2017, because it does seem incredibly simple, and it does seem just so brilliant to me.
The company that has come out with this is phenomenal technology, and frankly, this is a game changer for us. Pursuits are unfortunately, they're part of law enforcement. I mean, there are times that we physically need to get people off the street. Yet, in a lot of cases, they end tragically, and that is what we're trying to keep from happening here in Moses Lake. The goal of this is to protect the citizens, or protect our motorists, our pedestrians. My officers, obviously, I want them to be safe. And the suspect. We don't want anything to happen to the suspect. And so hopefully this technology will keep us from having to have these situations that turn out horribly wrong.
Well, and not so much anymore, but I used to be just fascinated with world's wildest police chase TV shows, and I would watch them with this perverse fascination because, yeah, I always want the bad guy to get caught, but I have a wife and 3 daughters, and I've seen too many instances of bad guys blowing through red lights and T-boning innocent people or crossing center lines and head-on collisions, and this seems like such a simply brilliant way to dramatically reduce those things from happening.
And here's even the better part of that, and that is that it's not expensive. It's a very inexpensive way of trying to to reduce the amount of pursuits that are out there. This isn't going to work 100% of the time. I'll tell you that right now. No,
Sure.
no technology does.
Right.
But if it works the majority of the time, for the cost of this, the system costs roughly $5,000 per vehicle. The cost is so minuscule compared to what a catastrophic event could cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just in monetary, but in human life or human injury. And so it's just a very inexpensive technology that is really out there to help keep the motoring public safe.
And I got one last question, Chief, and I know in advance, I'm self-aware enough to know that this is going to sound like a horribly snobbish question. Why are we hearing about this coming out of the Moses Lake Police Department and not Seattle or Los Angeles or Philadelphia? How is it that Moses Lake got on the cutting edge of something so simply brilliant?
So let me throw this out there. So this isn't my thinking, which I would like to take credit for, but it's not. We were contacted by the Washington City's Insurance Authority with basically a small grant to look at this technology. And we said, you know what? That's outstanding. Let's do it. So we were fortunate enough to get a small grant through WCIA to purchase 2 of these systems to put on our car. So I frankly, if this works the way I think that it will work, I'm going to push it out to the chiefs and say, guys, this is an inexpensive way of keeping your staff and your community safe.
Yeah, game changer. Sounds like a game changer to me. Well, very cool, Chief. I appreciate you coming on with me and explaining it to my audience. Thanks for taking the time this afternoon.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate the phone call.
Absolutely. He's the police chief in Moses Lake, Washington, Kevin Fuhr, joining us. And we have lots more to come as the Dory Monson Show continues.